welcome to Revere TV News. I'm Debbie Peczka.
And I'm Kathleen Heiser. And Revere is not surprisingly still recovering from this overwhelming season of snow.
The storms keep coming, and with blizzards come more cancellations.
The school science fair at Revere High School has officially been canceled for this year because of the snow and lack of preparation time. This is the first time in decades, actually, that this academic competition has not been held in Revere. The fair was supposed to be held on February 12th. Revere High School science teacher David Etoff says they are working out a way to figure out which students get to move on to the regionals. This science fair is a school tradition, and students take pride in the events starting in middle school through sophomore year of high school.
Superintendent Dr. Paul Dakin is trying to make the city aware that sidewalks and snow cleanup is an important factor in calling off school. There have been days this year that had to be declared snow days, not because of storms, but because of conditions of sidewalks throughout the city. Dakin has been encouraging the City Council to draft a snow shoveling ordinance where residents would be fined if their sidewalks were not shoveled out 24 hours after a storm. Chelsea and Everett have similar ordinances, and Dakin says the condition of these cities are noticeably better. He is asking this of everyone who lives in Revere, but most importantly, those in homes near schools.
The schools have been cleared out with the amount of equipment we have on staff in the schools, and staff in the schools allows us to sort of keep ahead of things. And when the city can come in and push the snow around the big lots with the heavier equipment, we more or less have the schools ready. Yet, we've had to cancel school 7 days this year, which are a lot of days. And more importantly, I think the thing that disturbs me most is we had to cancel a day when the schools around us, Chelsea, for example, were in session. And that challenge was presented in talking to the Chelsea superintendent. They felt the area was safe enough for kids to go to school because residents had cleared walkways. And just to see that difference, and that was last Friday, I drove through Chelsea and around their schools and city, and I drove through Revere, and I noticed a glaring difference. That difference was that Chelsea residents have, especially over the past 3 years, been working in a program to make safe their city with residents and businesses championing the cause of removing the snow in front of their homes and buildings. That just wasn't the case last Friday. And as a result, the other schools in the area had school, and we did not. Now, I've lived in Revere all my life, and I'd like to think that our community is as strong and willing to work together as a team as Chelsea or Everett or Winthrop. And a vocal observance of that, visual observance of that, is when people pitch in together during a storm like this and make safe the area around their home so that passage of folks just doing normal shopping on Broadway, which last Friday was a problem, it wasn't a problem in Chelsea, and in areas near schools and any pathways down side streets. I feel our community needs to pull together and get something done in that area. If other communities around us are doing that to make children and adults safe, I don't see why we can't.
Dr. Paul Dakin is in his last year of being superintendent of Revere Public Schools, as he is set to retire this coming December. The school committee is in the process of contract negotiations with Diane Kelly, who will be the next superintendent for Revere. Kelly is currently the assistant superintendent to Dakin and will be mentored by him in her new position starting this upcoming fall school year until he leaves. This overlapping transition has proved beneficial in the past. Diane Kelly has been working in the Revere Public School system for over 20 years.
In conjunction with Google, Revere Chamber of Commerce created a program called the Get Your Business Online Challenge. This program helped local businesses create their own website and business email addresses. It helps owners who may not have been so computer and tech savvy get their businesses known through the web. 10 businesses in Revere signed up for the challenge, and when the program was completed, they received Chromebook laptops and a free 3-month membership to the Revere Chamber of Commerce. Revere was one of 3 cities in the country to take part in this program. It has proven to help businesses along through the web use and save them money.
Revere police have started carrying tasers or electronic control weapons while on duty. This started this month and has already shown a significant difference in the safety of our officers. Although they do not often have to be used, when attention is made to a person that the police officer has a taser, that person is less likely to resist arrest or assault the officer. Revere decided to implement the use of tasers after studying the program that Chelsea already has in place. Right now, there are only 10 tasers in use by police officers in Revere on any given shift.
Revere's payroll total continues to increase as years go by. This year, the city workers' payroll totals $92.8 million. There is a $23 million increase since 2010. 4 city payroll employees in Revere now make over $200,000 per year. 168 employees earn more than $100,000. Superintendent Paul Dakin remains at the top of the list as he enters his last year of work. These numbers and the people on the list include our city workers, DPW, fire department, police department, and Revere public school employees.
Mayor Dan Rizzo is still taking steps to discourage the complete sale of land in Everett to the Wynn Casino. Last year, he issued a letter to block the MBTA's sale of property to Wynn. This property, if sold, would allow entrance to the Wynn Casino through the MBTA maintenance facility or Everett's shops. Rizzo believes that negotiations in this sale have been irregular and have had an effect on the complete casino licensing process. This is another point made on Rizzo's list of unfairness and contradictory treatment between the 2 cities in this casino bidding and licensing process.
Suffolk Downs and Revere is now a possible interest of Boston 2024, the organizers who are working towards the Olympics in Boston. The large-scale area that straddles Revere and East Boston would be big enough to hold a temporary Olympic stadium, but there are some guidelines it would have to meet to make that happen. An East Boston group called Boston 2020 has expressed their disapproval for such a development. This group has met to establish specific principles for what the future development of the Suffolk Downs area would be. These include permanent job creation, community inclusion, and a transparent process, environmental impact, transit-oriented development, and economic feasibility. There has not been any official conversation about the actual fate of the land Suffolk Downs stands on, but the opportunities are something to think about.
Now we're going to take a quick break. Stay with us and we'll be right back.
Revere TV just acquired a whole new set of advanced cameras for public use. These are Panasonic AVC cameras that film in HD. Users must be members of Revere TV, but membership is completely free and open to anyone who lives in Revere. We encourage our members to attend one of our classes, which take place every Monday night at 6:30. These classes include editing, field camera use like with the Panasonic AVC cams, and studio production. A list of our classes can be found on reveretv.org.
Hello and welcome back to Revere TV News. Back to the city's snow concerns. We must all be aware that winter isn't over, as much as we would like to think it would be soon. Any more snowfalls keep high concerns of city and resident safety. We would like to emphasize the importance of keeping your property and walkways clear for public use. Fire hydrants are of the highest importance in Revere. Make sure fire hydrants near your homes are shoveled out and marked if hidden by snowbanks. Revere officials have spoken of their concerns in such extreme conditions and encourage any and all help the public can provide. As a community, it is everyone's duty to contribute to the cleanup and safety procedures after any big storms.
Our city's public work crews have had assistance from New York and New Jersey contractors for snow removal from Revere's main streets, Broadway, and Washington Ave. Work has been mostly after dark and overnight hours. Revere has received help from these outside sources free of cost, and this is of major importance given the monumental snow removal task. In addition to these out-of-state Department of Transportation crews, the National Guard is also of great assistance. Mayor Dan Rizzo and Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito met with the National Guard hydrant shoveling team, who spent yesterday going around the city making sure any and all hydrants they could find were shoveled out properly. Recovering from these snowstorms has been a much-needed group effort.
A recent fire in Revere on Reservoir Ave is an example of the importance of keeping our hydrants clear and visible. This fire was an unfortunate tragedy, and the cold temperatures of that morning definitely did not make the process of getting that fire out any easier. But while some hydrants were just frozen by the cold temperatures, a few were buried beneath the snow. Our City Council held an emergency snow meeting in the days after this tragedy, pointing out the importance of helping out our fire department and ultimately our fellow Revere residents. Here is what Chief Doherty had to add to that meeting.
I've been contacted, but relative to the hydrants in general and the motion that you have, I won't speak to my personal opinions relative to it. I'll tell you as the fire chief, we have something on the books under Chapter 148 about burying hydrants, and that's generally for private plow operators or people that are sometimes that unconscious. They'll dig out their driveway and throw the snow on the hydrant. But there is under Chapter 148 a fine for that. Again, you have to get the police to witness it, and it's a very tough thing to enforce, but it's under the Mass General laws. School Committee McGuire has contacted me and asked for a list of our hydrants. We have probably about 900 hydrants in the city. We have a master list. 4 years ago, we went out and GPSed every hydrant for maybe even more for the new rec center, so we'll have all those located and they'll all be on our mapping system. So he wants that list to utilize with some of the children's in the schools, that they could actually adopt certain hydrants in their neighborhood. There is a program with the Department of Fire Services, and Boston Fire is doing it, about adopting a hydrant. We did that relative to the painting of hydrants through the mayor's office a few years, 2 years back, and it worked out to a certain extent till some of the people actually painted their own with their own little motifs, and we come by with the prisoners and we painted right over it. That didn't sit well, but we know now not to do that again. But I think that adopt a hydrant program will work. This marker that I have on me, Brian Kelly brought that down to me today. The DCR installed these on the hydrants on the boulevard and Ocean Ave 2 years ago, and I think this is the best for us, because that on the hydrant sticking up is considerable. There are bigger snowbanks what we have today, but as Councilor Zambuto says, sometimes it's an impetus. The person's more apt to see the pole sticking out of the snow and say, oh, I better get that hydrant, versus the hydrant being buried and then you just forget about it. You don't even realize it. And the mayor and I were driving around the city for the last couple hours, and I saw so many hydrants that were buried. It distressed me. But our firefighters are going out every day, twice a day, 6 pieces of apparatus, and they will do the whole city until we know all the hydrants are dug out.
We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back.
Revere TV just acquired a whole new set of advanced cameras for public use. These are Panasonic AVC cameras that film in HD. Users must be members of Revere TV, but membership is completely free and open to anyone who lives in Revere. We encourage our members to attend one of our classes, which take place every Monday night at 6:30. These classes include editing, field camera use like with the Panasonic AVC cams, and studio production. A list of our classes can be found on reveretv.org.
And now for some upcoming events in Revere. All are welcome to apply for Cooking Matters by Revere on the Move and Blue Cross Blue Shield, Massachusetts. The 6th class program starts February 27th. Classes will include a free bag of groceries each week, time spent with a nutritionist, as well as in the grocery store, where you'll learn to shop for healthy foods, and spend less money. Contact Sylvia Chang at srchang@partners.org or 781-485-6161 for more.
The Neighborhood Developers is once again holding free tax preparation from January 27th through April 15th. The tax preparation will be held in 2 locations this year. The Neighborhood Developers, 4 Gerrish Avenue, Chelsea, Massachusetts, Wednesday 1 p.m. to 8 p.m., Fridays 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Revere Community School, 101 School Street, Revere, Mass., Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Please call 617-889-1375 for more information to register.
Help the Garfield Elementary School by donating your Recycle Bank points. The Garfield Elementary School has been accepted into the Recycle Bank Green Schools program for a school garden initiative to begin this spring. They're looking for staff, school families, and community members to donate Recycle Bank points to their project. If you live in a community that is serviced by Recycle Bank, and Revere is one of them, please donate your Recycle Bank points to the Gardening Gators.
That's great. Revere Police Department will host Coffee with a Cop on Tuesday, March 24th at McDonald's, 339 Squire Road, Revere, from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. This is a great time to get to know your police officers in an informal, neutral space to discuss community issues, build relationships, and drink coffee. Please join the Revere Police Department officers on the 24th and bring your questions.
Finally, congratulations to Revere High School girls who won outright the NEC title on the last-second floating jumper by Ali Hinojosa versus Marblehead, 67-66. Great job. And that's all we have for tonight. For Revere TV News, I'm Kathleen Heiser.
And I'm Debbie Peczka. Thanks for watching. Take care.